All right. The four of you guys are in the same chapter because, as we can see here, we all have the same exact adjustment that we need to make, which is looking to get momentum going to the plate earlier in our deliveries. We each have a little bit different reason for why we want to do that in our delivery, but the overall theme is just to get energy flowing. So we'll get into each individual guy here and give them the opportunity to see their delivery 2 times. So we'll start with Chapa here first. Once you get the opportunity to read this note here and watch that video, we'll go to the next guy. We'll crank out all 4 of you guys, and then we'll get us all back up together to really discuss what we mean about this momentum going forward, while we get those big league videos that you saw played as well to help us really drive home this point of getting momentum going to our target earlier in our delivery. So there's Chapa. We'll go to land next. Have the opportunity to read your note here of why we want to work on this. Again, we'll get you 2 times through here. And we can go to Schutz. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I apologize for that. We'll let you watch your video 2 times here before we go over to, I believe that was Hauser, which is the 4th guy in our group here who's looking to learn how to get some momentum going earlier in our delivery. And yes, it was Hauser. So have the opportunity to read your why and what will this help with getting that extra momentum or that early momentum in our delivery. We'll let you watch your video 2 times as well. And I'm sure the other guys who've already seen their video is kind of starting to see what we mean about this get your momentum going early, or at least being able to see that the 4 of you guys kind of all do the same things with your delivery in the beginning portion of it. All right, so now we'll go to these big league guys here. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw some lines. And they don't have to be straight lines, but we're just going to draw some lines out in front of them. So that way we can kind of more easily see his body and the direction it's going. So what we'll watch here is all normal speed. Hard to kind of see what we're looking for. But now that we're in slow motion, we're going to notice as this leg is coming up, we're going to start to see his head get going forward. As that leg is coming up, his body is starting to go towards the target. His body is starting to get a little bit of momentum going to the target, so that way when the leg does start to come down out of its leg lift and our back leg starts to bend down to get our legs loaded into this throw, we're not just going straight down, 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 but we're going down and out together. That early momentum is going to help us get our time to the plate quicker so we control the running game better. And it's also going to provide more energy in our throw to create power with. We can do that same thing with Ben Joyce. We draw some lines here in front of them. Again, they don't got to be straight. We just got to see motion. And what we'll do is the same thing. Now that we're in slow motion, we'll notice as that knee is coming up, that body is going forward. As that knee is still coming up, we're letting that body start to just slowly kind of drift forward. So that way when the leg starts to come down out of that leg lift, the body is going down and out, not just down, 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 then try to go out, out, out. So just that little bit of that early momentum. So that way as we go down with our legs, we're able to be going down and out with our body and not just down, down, down. We also have Garrett Cole that we can do that same thing with. We draw those lines over him. And then we can watch how during his leg lift, as the leg is coming up, we can see that little tiny bit of that body kind of just drifting forwards. So that way, once that leg starts to come down and that back leg starts to bend, so we load our legs, we're not just going straight down and then trying to go out, but we're able to be going down and out. There's the great Mythbusters clip where you got 3 types of ramps. One that's way down here, one that's straight to here, and the other that's somewhere in between there. And when the balls get dropped from the same height at the same time and they go through their ramps and go down their planes, this middle one right here is always getting to the end first. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get to the end. We're trying to get this foot into the ground as quickly as we can, producing as much energy as we can so we can send it out as rapidly as we can. So if we then bring the 4 of you guys back up and we kind of get all of us on the screen at the same time, give me a quick second to get everyone up. Okay. So if we then take everybody to the beginning of their delivery, and we draw those same type of lines on each of you guys' bodies like we did with those big leaguers, and we watch what kind of ability we have to go forward or what kind of momentum we have during that leg lift, and how does that momentum carry as that leg lift leg begins to come down, and as that back leg bends down to get our legs loaded for the throw. How far or how much are we able to see our bodies going towards the target versus how much do we just see that head dropping down, 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 down before we start to see the body go forward. So we'll start over here with Hauser. And we'll let his videos play. And we can see that head is between those lines. They're going straight down between those lines. And we go back, we can kind of just see how that nose is just right between those lines that whole time. So we'll pause it once we, boom. Once we start to see that body starting to go forward a bit, we'll pause it, which we'll say is right here. We'll come over here to Schutz. Sorry, bud. I'll figure it out. We'll do the same thing. When do we start to see that head? Okay, it's starting to go forward now. Come over to Chapa. We'll do the same thing. We'll say right here, because where did the head start? The head did start right here. You had to lean back to get the leg up, which means now you're back to where you started. And now we're starting to get further from where we started with that head. Come over here for land and let him do his thing next. And we'll see nose goes down, down, down. Now we're starting to go forward. So we can see, and I get rid of all these lines now, all of us are going down without ever going out at all. And what we just saw with those big leaguers is we want to see ourselves starting to go out, and then as we go down, being able to continue to go out on that angle. Because now all you guys have left to do is just try to use your back leg to push yourself forward after having to first stop yourself from going down, 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 which you've been doing this whole time. All of our energy right now is falling down. We need to stop it from falling down and then redirect it forward. And because of that, we are now using less, we have less power at the end of our throw because we're having to use some of this power right now to get ourselves going forward. If we could have had that momentum going in our delivery first, like we saw with these big leaguers, right? If we could see that momentum going first before that leg starts to come down, we wouldn't have to use as much power to get ourselves going forward. We would just already be doing it. If we didn't just go down, 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 then try to go out, 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 and we were going forward slightly as that leg was coming up, we would have a lot easier time creating power. We also have to think when we are in the stretch is because guys are on base. When guys are on base, they're trying to get into scoring position. Once they're in scoring position, they're trying to score, which means if they're on first or second base and that base in front of them is unoccupied, they have the ability just to steal it. And the easiest way to steal a base is by the pitcher taking forever in his delivery to make his pitch. If I have to lift my leg up and my body go down and then I start to go out, that's a long time to get the ball to the catcher. Even with a slide step, we're still not going to be used to going quick and fast, right? We need to be able to get this leg up and get the body going in under 1.4 seconds for all you right-handed throwers here. So we need to understand if our leg coming up and leg coming down and body getting loaded is taking a full second, we don't got much time left to go through the rest of our delivery and for the ball to get to the catcher's glove. So learning how to get it up, get it going is going to be a big part of your guys' development to being able to compete with runners on base and being able to produce power efficiently and repeatedly from the stretch. So if we want to learn how to get better at this, we need to be going onto my YouTube page. We all have the links for that. Go onto the YouTube page, and once you're there, all you got to do is just scroll down a little bit to the how to get better. And once you're there, Click on the mechanical drills, view full playlist button. And then boom, look at that. The very first video, how to gain ground during leg lift. Watch that. Learn how to do stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. And your body's going to get more and more comfortable understanding how to do this movement. All right, you two guys are in the same chapter because as we can see, you guys both have the same thing that we want to watch and work on in our videos, which is throwing your chest down. Or another way to think about that is trying to release that pitch as far out in front of you as we possibly can. This helps send our energy out towards the target, so we're maximizing our power while at the same time really honing in that release trajectory, so that way the energy is going towards the target, helping us maximize our repeatability in the zone with our pitches. So what we'll do is we'll let you watch each of your guys' videos 2 times here in a row, and then we will dive into Class A and Gilbert's deliveries to help illustrate what we're looking for when it comes to throwing your chest down, releasing out in front, because these 2 guys are a very extreme example of what that looks like. So we'll start here with Trajkovski. I think that's probably pretty darn close. So like I said, we'll let you watch it 2 times in a row, and then we'll get over to, I think those Pappas that's paired up with us here. Okay, I'll bring that back to the start and let you watch it again. Okay, and yep, Pappas. We have your video synced up. We'll let you watch it same way 2 times in a row. And then we'll get to those big league videos to illustrate what we're wanting to look for when it comes time to throwing our chest down or reaching out in front at release. Okay, so let's get us to Class A. We'll let you watch them normal speed just to see how elite these athletes are moving their bodies. And then what we're going to do is we're going to back this up a little bit, and we're going to pause it right when that front foot gets in the ground. Let's get this out of the way. We're going to draw a line right down through the center of his head, center of his chest, through his belt buckle, and down to the ground. And what we're going to do is we're going to allow this to slowly go until he gets to release, which is somewhere between these 2 frames. We can kind of see that blur of the baseball here. So we'll stay conservative, and we'll say right here. And we'll draw that line again from his back up through there. And what we'll say is all of this here is his chest being thrown down or him reaching out in front at release. If we get Logan Gilbert over here, and we'll do the same thing, we'll pause him when that front foot gets in the ground. And then we'll back him up so that those lines kind of work again, that center line. Going through his head, chest, belt, and down to the ground. And then we'll slowly proceed him to his release, which we could say is probably right here. Yep, that ball is coming out through there. And we'll draw his line of that. And we draw that line then down. It's a terrible straight line. I'm only on my laptop's trackpad, so it's tough, right? But what we're seeing is just how far out in front these guys are getting and how much of their chest is accelerating their arms down, but also as we go down, we're able to get further out in front. With chest down comes hand out in front. It's almost impossible to get hand out in front if chest is not getting down and is instead staying up, or only goes down a little bit. And then after the throw goes down a lot, right? So what we'll do then is we'll get you guys back up and we'll kind of split the screen half and half with you. One guy over here. We obviously don't need the front view for this. And then we'll get the other guy up. Okay. There and there. Okay. So now that we got both of you guys on the screen here, we can draw our lines. Back this up a bit. That there. Okay. So we'll draw our line like that, and we'll draw this line like that. And we'll get to release. You can see that ball's starting to come out. So there's our line. We get to release, ball's coming out, and there's our line. So we can see we're not really sending our chest down a whole lot. And because of that fact, yeah, the ball's getting released out in front. I didn't stay the straightest all the way down, but it's not nearly as far out in front as we were seeing those guys get, right? And yes, our chest is going to keep going down a little bit more after release, but it's mostly just that rotation now at the end, which we definitely want that rotation, right? We definitely want this. We definitely want that out of the chest, but we also need this to be going down more for us, having this go down more for us. And because we're not going down, we're just going to keep going forward. And that makes it very tough for us to command our pitches and very tough for us to have power in our throw. So that's what we mean by we need to work on throwing your chest down or getting your release out in front. Is looking like this. Foot down, chest out in front. Chest out in front. Chest out in front. Versus chest there versus there. That versus that. This versus that. 1, 2. So if we want to be working on this, we need to be using the YouTube page. Here's the home screen. Scroll down, how to get better, mechanical drills, view full playlist. And then I'm thinking, what do I need to do? I need to learn how to get out in front. Well, let's scroll through here and see trunk tilt into release. This is working on getting my chest out in front more as I throw. This is a drill that we can be doing right here to continue to have our body learn what we want it to be doing. All right, Mr. Puffer, we're going to let you watch your video 2 times in a row here. And then we'll revisit that note that was provided at the beginning of your chapter. And we'll get a big league video to help illustrate what we're trying to accomplish. And then we'll get you some drills that can start helping our body learn what we're trying to do with it. And that note that we have for you is rotate, that's my fault, it's supposed to say rotate my back leg forward versus spinning in place. When we do this, it's going to help us generate more power with your body. So we're looking to rotate your back leg forward versus spinning in place. So let's just watch the back leg on this side view here. And we can see your back foot is just kind of spinning in place. And when your foot just spins in place like that, yes, your knee does rotate. Yes, the knee does rotate. But what does not happen is we don't get this hip accelerating forward. We don't get our entire body going down the mound. Right? We just got these very short little legs or little extension in our legs. Right? We're just kind of spinning. And because we're just spinning, that's why we get this huge tilt, because your body's like, well, we're not producing any power with our legs. How am I going to try to throw this ball hard? And your body thinks ripping and peeling this glove this way, ripping and pulling this glove down has been your only way to try to create power. But now all your power is getting flung down into the ground over here, and we need to throw the baseball straight forward. And now that's why we get this body completely turned over as we're trying to throw this baseball. And it's because we're not using our legs to create energy down the mound for us, because we're just spinning in place. We're just spinning in place rather than rotating forward. Get one big league example here for you real quick, because it shouldn't take much for us to see the glaring differences. And I'll just pull up the first guy that's underneath my cursor. Spencer Strider. We'll pause him when that front foot gets in the ground, and we can just see on his back leg what he's been doing. We push this over here, and we pull you back there, and we get him to the top of the leg lift, get you to the top of your leg lift, you go down, he goes down, he proceeds out, you proceed out, and then now we watch Strider's back leg rotate his entire body forward. We watch this foot, and we mark where his head is at in between those two lines. By the time his foot gets done with the rotation and this front foot gets into the ground, we can see how far his body has gone. We watch your foot as it's about to make its rotation movement, and your body ain't going really anywhere. You're just staying right here. It's because we're not using our back leg to move our body forward. His back foot is going to control his entire back leg, which is going to move the rest of his body forward. 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 Using the legs to go forward. Using the legs to go forward. That way I don't got to be all tilted in order to think I can be strong. I can rotate forward. I can rotate forward. I can rotate forward and get out in front versus having to peel to the side, and all of my energy be going up, 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 when I'm needing to throw the ball out. We watch Strider's energy is going forward, going forward, going forward. So that's what we mean when we say you got to rotate your back leg forward versus spinning it in place. So if you want to really work on this and get good at it, we got to use our resources. One of the best resources for you for pitching is using my YouTube page. I say it every session. I say it every week. I say it every year. Go on the YouTube page. It's as easy as this. How to get better. If I want a stronger arm, arm care. If I need to work with my legs, I got it right there. If I need to do some mechanic drills, I click the view full playlist. And now I can scroll down until I find something that involves rotation. Oh, backside rotation drill. This would probably be a perfect drill for you to start working on and learning how to rotate your backside. Right? We go through all of these videos here. We find things that work for us that's going to help us work on that. Like I said, we can come over to the other lower body stuff that's over here and go through all of these videos. There's 21 in here. And look for something that's going to help you with that back leg getting rotated or stronger. Use our resources to get better. We're going to let you watch your video 2 times in a row here so you can kind of take a look at this note and think about what we're seeing and how that applies to that note. And then we'll get a big leaguer up on the screen to really help illustrate what it is that we're trying to work on and improve. And then we'll give you drills that you can start doing at home so we can start working at it and be better come this week. So one more time, looking at that note and now watching what that arm's doing and kind of have an idea of what's happening. So as we look at that note then of loading your arm up, we want to make sure we're getting into a strong and safe position to throw from. Right now, our arm is in a very risky position with a tremendous amount of stress being put on our arm to make our pitch. And what we want to look at is when this front foot gets into the ground, our upper body needs to be in a very specific position in order to say we are strong and ready to throw the baseball. Because once this front foot gets into the ground, it is time for the upper body to rotate and throw, which means the position our arm is in at this point in time now is going to determine if we have a strong and healthy, safe arm. What we need to be seeing is from shoulder to shoulder level, from shoulder to elbow level, and then from elbow to hand going up on a 90-ish degree angle. If we then went from this shoulder and drew a line down to your hip, we want a 90-ish degree angle in the armpit. 90 in the elbow, 90 in the armpit. We can see we have this elbow extremely low where we do not have that 90 degree bend in the armpit. And we got this over here with maybe that 90 degrees here, but that elbow is way too low. Now when you go to throw, all of your arm's energy has to go up just to get this back in alignment. Because we cannot throw the baseball if that elbow is below these shoulders here. It just won't happen. So now that you had to go up, 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 we can see that your chest is still staying up, 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 instead of our chest going forward. So now you release this ball, and you are about as upright as you possibly can be while throwing. This is not strong, not explosive, and not healthy for our arm. We need to use our body to make this throw, not just our arm. And when your arm gets this low, all you have is to rip and pull and sling this arm forward. And that's why this arm just kind of drags through and just kind of bleh, bleh, bleh at the end. Okay, we need to be loading this arm up. Right now, we get to a position where we're good here. But now the elbow has to remain where it's at and the hand get above it. We're going to very easily see when I draw this line here, your elbow go down, 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 down. Almost just as much, if not more, than your hand goes up, 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 up. So if we look at me here, instead of your elbow staying in place and your hand loading up, your hand loading up, your hand loading up, you got your elbow going just as much down as your hand going up. And now we have shoulder to shoulder and dipping the elbow. If I pull up a big leaguer and just whichever one is the closest and easiest to see, all right, I got my hand right here on Spencer Strider. So we'll just use Strider as an example here. And we'll pause him at that moment that front foot's in the ground. Or we'll even take him back to here so we can match and do what we just did with you. So we'll slide him over here, slide you back here. Again, we're stopping your video when that front foot gets into the ground. We're doing that same thing with Strider when his front foot hits the ground. And there's that difference in the angles of our shoulders and our elbows. But if we go back and back, we can say you guys are in very similar positions with the hands and the elbows and the arms. Okay? But what we're going to watch from here is that this hand is coming up. The elbow is never going to go down. See that? You can mark where that bottom of the elbow is, and that bottom of the elbow is still there. The elbow does not drop down to attempt loading the arm up. The hand must go up to load the arm up. We do that same thing with you like we did before, and we see your elbow goes down. Your elbow goes down more than the hand goes up. So quite literally all you need to do, dude, is go up against a wall with your arms exactly like this, get those elbows into the wall, and then now just learn how to move your hand up. Move your hand up. Move your hand up until it touches the wall. Keeping the elbow up against the wall, move the hand up. And if you did it the way you're currently doing it, your hand would not go up. Your elbow would be going down instead. But as long as that elbow is pushing into the wall, there's no way it's going to go down as the hand goes up. And you need to just stand in your bathroom for 10 minutes a day and just get 200 of these in. 1, 2, 3. Oh, does not count. Elbow went down. 4, 5. And just get 100, 200, 250 a day. Because if we want to, and this is not just a pitching thing, this is a throwing a baseball thing. If we want this arm to get stronger over the coming months and coming years, and we want to not have arm issues, this has got to be a priority for you, bud. Because we are in a very risky position trying to make throws with this significantly and severe low elbow. Okay, dude, you're going to get to see your video 2 times in a row, and then we'll revisit that note with a big league example to really help us drive home the point of what we're trying to work on. And we'll show you how you can be practicing at home so you're coming next session with some feel on what we're trying to do differently. So that video again. All right, and that note that we had for you was pertaining to the separation of our hands and the direction and the timing of that separation. And as we can see, what that's going to help us do, it's going to help get us some rhythm and keep our body in a good position when it's loaded and time to throw. So what we're going to do is from the top of our leg lift here, we're just going to watch the first where our glove arm goes from start to finish. And what we're going to see is that we got this very awkward bend in the arm that's going up. That's the same exact bend as this. I mean, if I just got you to put both of your feet in the ground sideways and had you just have your arms up like that and told you to throw, you're probably going to be like struggling to figure out what to move first, because this is just not an ideal position to be throwing from. So we bring that back and we just watch how that glove just kind of stays behind your body for a very long time. Stays behind your body, still behind your body, still behind your body. Now it's in line with your body. Now it's like above your body almost. Now it's going to fall down and out, trying to get to a good finish position. We then look at just the throwing arm now, and we can say that that arm just kind of stays, like your hands coming out of the glove, like you're all like hunched over like this, like you're being like a ninja or something, And then this arm just kind of stays here. The arm just kind of stays here. There's no rhythm. There's no fluidity. There's no motion with your arms. There's no way to capture energy and send it. So we're going to pull up a couple different big leaguers here for you to show you some different ways that we can go about separating those hands. But at the end of the day, we just need to like get smooth with it and have something that's going to help us be on time and in a strong spot to throw from. So let's pull 3 dudes up that are all very different in their deliveries. And we'll let you watch them. So Garrett Cole is going to be very much like elbows start to go in towards home and towards second, and then hands go after that. So we'll first see elbows. There go the elbows, and then the hands kind of reach out from there. But what we can notice is when that foot does get into the ground to throw, that each of these guys are going to be in almost identical positions, which is going to be this glove tucking up into the body. See how that is going this way? And yours is going the complete opposite. So that's the moment that foot gets in the ground. Let's go Strider. Looking at those same things. Noticing that when his hands separate, like we said with Garrett Cole, he's getting right at that target. We can see Strider's glove is going more towards third base dugout first. Right? That elbow starts to go towards home, but then that hand reaches more towards us in the camera view. But then ultimately, the same thing that Garrett Cole's glove does is that it finishes up into his body, whereas yours is doing the complete opposite. It's going up towards your ear instead of into your armpit ribcage area. So then we just slide him over here real quick. So then we can then pull Garrett Cole over there, and we can see that their upper bodies, although they went differently with their gloves, the gloves still finish in the same spot, right there in that chest armpit, right there in that chest armpit. And then we'll get our third guy that's different than all of them, Blake Snell, and be able to see when his hands separate, he's coming out towards first base dugout with his glove. And then same thing, once that foot's in the ground, it's finishing up into his body. So we then come back to you and watch how your glove's not going anywhere out in front of your body. And then when it is out in front of your body, it's bent up here instead of bent up in here. You can also see how all these guys' arms are falling out of the glove, out of the glove, out of the glove, out of the glove. Go to Garrett Cole. We're going to see that his ball falls out of the glove, out of the glove, out of the glove. We go to Spencer Strider, and we're going to notice that the ball comes down out of the glove, down out of the glove, goes down out of the glove. And yours just kind of stays there. Just kind of stays there. Just stays there. So we got no rhythm with the glove going one way and the arm coming the other way. We just kind of staying back here behind our ear and then signaling field goal and then trying to throw from there. So if we want to create some power and some rhythm in our delivery, we definitely want to work on our hand separation, which means we got to go onto the YouTube page, which I'm always telling guys to go use your resources. All you got to do is scroll down here, how to get better. If you want a stronger arm, arm care. We need to work on the lower body. You got lower body stuff. We got a full playlist of just mechanical drills. All we got to do is go down here and find something that's going to involve hand separation. Oh, look at that. A hand separation drill right there. That's probably something that would work for us. And then we can go into the throwing drills and we can find stuff like that we can do. But we got to find ways to practice, and the YouTube page is just full of resources that can help us do that.